Hello everyone, welcome to today's chemistry class. Today we will see the covalent solids or network solids. Last class we have discussed what are covalent solids, so we will explain the properties of covalent solids here. Covalent solids are also known as network solids because this in covalent solids the particles are arranged like network. Okay, so it is known as network solids. Network പോലെയാണ് ഇതിൻ്റെ arrangement, so it is known as network solids. So covalent bonds are strong and directional in nature. Therefore some atoms are held very strongly at their positions. So covalent bonds are strong and therefore atoms are held very strongly at their positions. So such solids are very hard and brittle. Okay, they have extremely high melting points and they decompose before melting and may even decompose before melting. So you have high melting point, though, so they decompose before melting. They are insulators and do not conduct electricity. They are insulators and do not conduct electricity. That we have already studied. Here examples: diamond and silicon carbide. Silicon carbide is also an example of network solid or covalent solid. Diamond is very strong and it is the purest matter in the world. Okay, and also graphite. Graphite is also another example. In graphite, carbon atoms are arranged in different layers. Carbon atoms, that means the arrangement of graphite is just like layers. That means it has a layered arrangement. Graphite has. So in graphite, carbon atoms are arranged in different layers and each atom is covalently bonded to three of its neighboring atoms. So each carbon atom is covalently bonded to its three neighboring atoms in the same layer, which can slide one over the other. So this layer can slide over the other. Okay, this makes graphite soft solid and good solid lubricant. It is also used as solid lubricant. ഇവിടെ ഒരു കാർബൺ വേറെ 3 കാർബണുമായിട്ട് എങ്ങനെയാണ് കോവാലൻ്റ് ബോണ്ട് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നതാണ്, പക്ഷേ ഒരു കാർബണുമായിട്ട് ഉള്ള ഇലക്ട്രോൺ ഫ്രീ ആണ്. സോ ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ കണ്ടക്ട് ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി. ഓക്കെ, സോ ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ കണ്ടക്ട് ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി. 1 electron is free. So 1 electron is mobile, so it can conduct electricity. So the only non-metal which conducts electricity is graphite. Clear? So we can see the explanation of that. What are the properties of graphite? This affects the properties of graphite. These are the points which affect the properties of the graphite. First one, graphite is soft and slippery. What is the reason? Layers can easily slide over each other because the weak forces of attraction are easily broken. Because layers can easily slide over each other because the weak force of attraction can be easily broken. This is why graphite is used as a lubricant. You can see the structure from this figure. So it is a layered structure and one carbon atom is bonded to 3 other carbon atom and 1 electron is free, so it can conduct electricity and one layer can slide over the other layer. Okay, that is a structure of the graphite. Now why graphite conducts electricity? The only non-metal to do so, that is the only non-metal which conducts electricity is graphite, because the free electron from each carbon means that each layer has a delocalized electron. That means free electron is there. So carbon has 4 valence electrons. 3 electrons are bonded to other 3 carbon atom and 1 electron is free. So it can conduct electricity, and the free electron from each carbon means that each layer has delocalized. കുറേ electrons ഉണ്ടാവും. So delocalized electrons which can carry charge. So these are the main properties of graphite. Graphite is soft and slippery and it conducts electricity due to the presence of delocalized electrons. Okay, So now we can distinguish the differences between diamond and graphite. Diamond, it is the purest and hardest matter in the world. So diamond, it has a crystalline lattice, and graphite, it has a layered structure. Graphite has a layered structure. And in diamond, each carbon atom is sp3 hybridized and is bonded to 4 other carbon atoms through a sigma bond. So in diamond, each carbon atom is sp3 hybridized. We know what is sp3 hybridization, and is bonded to 4 other carbon atoms via a sigma bond, through a sigma bond. So that is a peculiarity of diamond. And in graphite, each carbon atom is sp2 hybridized. That is the difference. It is sp2 hybridized and is bonded to 3 other carbon atoms through a sigma bond. The 4th electron forms a non-bond. Okay. It forms no bond. Okay. The 4th electron forms no bond. It forms any bond. It is made up of tetrahedral units. Diamond, it is made up of tetrahedral units, and graphite, it has a planar geometry. Planar. In diamond, the CC bond length in diamond is 154 picometer. CC bond length is 154 picometer, and in graphite, the CC bond length is 141.5 picometer. It is less than the diamond. And in diamond, it has a rigid covalent bond network which is difficult to break. So diamond has a rigid covalent bond network which is very difficult to break. That means that covalent bond is very strong. So the diamond is also very, very hard. And graphite, it is quite soft, and its layer can be separated easily. Diamond acts as an electric insulator, and graphite is a good conductor of electricity. Once again, we can see the difference. Diamond has a crystalline lattice, graphite has a layered structure. In diamond, each carbon atom is sp3 hybridized, bonded to 4 other carbon atoms through a sigma bond. In graphite, each carbon atom is sp2 hybridized and is bonded to 3 other carbon atoms. The 4th electron is free. It does not form any bond. Diamond is made up of tetrahedral units. Graphite has a planar geometry. In diamond, CC bond length is 154 picometer, and in graphite, CC bond length is 141.5 picometer. And diamond has a rigid covalent bond network which is difficult to break. And graphite, it is quite soft and its layer can be separated easily. Diamond is an insulator, and graphite is a good conductor of electricity. Now, crystal lattice and unit cells. The main characteristic of crystalline solid is a regular geometry. Okay, so we know that crystalline solids have a regular pattern of arrangement, or repeating pattern of arrangement, or repeating pattern of constituent particles. If the 3 dimensional arrangement of constituent particles in a crystal is represented by diagrammatically, in which each particle is represented as a point, the arrangement is called crystal lattice. It is nothing but the 3-dimensional arrangement of constituent particle in a crystal is known as crystal lattice. Thus, the regular 3-dimensional arrangement of constituent particles or points in space is known as crystal lattice. Thus, the regular 3-dimensional arrangement of points means constituent particle, in space is called crystal lattice. So this is a arrangement. Okay, there are only 14 possible 3-dimensional lattice. These are called Bravais lattice. There are only 14 possible 3-dimensional lattices. These are called Bravais lattice. Okay, only 14 possible 3D structure is there, that is known as Bravais lattice. Then characteristics of a lattice. Each point in a lattice is called a lattice point. Each point in a lattice is called lattice point or lattice site. Each point is known as lattice site or lattice point. And each point in a crystal lattice represents one constituent particle. That means each point represents one constituent particle, which may be an atom or a molecule or an ion or group of atoms. Each point represents molecule, atom or group of atoms or an ion. Lattice points are joined by straight line to bring about the geometry of the lattice. That means these lattice points are joined by straight line to bring about the geometry of the lattice. Okay, to bring about the lattice. Okay, so we can see the characteristics of a unit lattice. Actually, this is a crystal lattice. This is a structure of crystal lattice. In live session, I will explain how we can draw the crystal lattice and a unit cell. Okay, how we can draw the crystal lattice and a unit cell. In live session, I will explain this. Okay, so a unit cell is characterized by its dimensions along the three edges. Its dimensions along the three edges, that A, B, C. These edges may or may not be mutually perpendicular. Okay, angles between the edges are alpha, beta and gamma. Between B and C is alpha, between A and C is beta, between A and B is gamma. Thus a unit cell is characterized by 6 parameters: A, B, C, alpha, beta, gamma. So a unit, now we are discussing a unit lattice or a unit cell. A unit cell is the smallest portion, or it is a building block of a crystal lattice. We have already studied that crystal lattice is a three-dimensional arrangement of constituent particle in space. But what is unit cell? Unit cell is the basic, it is the basic building block of crystal lattice. That is known as unit cell. Clear? It is the basic building block of crystal lattice is known as unit cell. Okay, it is the smallest repeating unit. A unit cell is the smallest repeating portion of the space lattice, and it is characterized by three edges A, B, C with angle alpha, beta and gamma. Okay, that we have already seen in that picture. Okay, here we have this picture. Okay, so this each point is a constant particle, and here we have A, B, C edges, and angle between B and C is alpha, angle between A and C is beta, and angle between A and B is gamma. This is a unit cell. It is the smallest repeating portion of a crystal lattice, that is known as unit cell. Crystal lattice, here we have discussed the crystal lattices and the unit cell. Crystal lattice is the three-dimensional arrangement of constituent particles in space, and the unit cell is the smallest repeating unit of a crystal lattice. Okay, so this is a crystal lattice. This we will discuss in the live session how to draw. Okay, clear. And these edges are A, B, C, and angles are alpha, beta and gamma. Okay, now we can discuss the different types of unit cells. We can discuss different types of unit cell. Okay, first one, primitive unit cell. So in primitive unit cell, the constituent particles are present only at the corners. Okay, in primitive unit cell, the lattice points or particles occupy only at the corners of the unit cell. That is the first one, primitive. Second one is centered. When a unit cell contains one or more constant particles present at positions other than corners, in addition to those at corners, it is called a centered unit cell. We can discuss that. So, a centered unit cell, we have body centered, face centered, end centered. Okay, അതായത് കോർണറിൽ നിന്ന് ഒഴികെ അതിൻ്റെ വേറെ സ്ഥലത്തും കോൺസ്റ്റൻറ്റ് പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമ്മളിതിനെ സെൻറ്റേഡ് എന്ന് പറയും. ബാക്കിയുള്ളവയെ നമ്മൾ പ്രിമിറ്റീവ് എന്ന് പറയും. ഓക്കെ, സോ ദിസ് സെൻറ്റേഡ് യൂണിറ്റ് സെൽ ഈസ് ക്ലാസിഫൈഡ് ഇൻറ്റു ബോഡി സെൻറ്റേഡ്, ഫേസ് സെൻറ്റേഡ്, എൻഡ് സെൻറ്റേഡ്. So first of all, body centered unit cell. So body centered unit cell is a unit cell contains one constant particle, atom, molecular ion, at its body center. Okay, along with the corners. Okay, so in body centered unit cell, along with the corners, it has a particle at the body center. And face centered, second unit cell. It is a unit cell which contains one constant particle present at the center of each face. Okay, so the particles occupy at the corners and at all the face centers of the unit cell. എല്ലാ ഫേസ് സെൻറ്ററിലും ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും, കോർണറിലും ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും. An n-centered unit cell. This is a unit cell. It constitutes one constant particle is present at the center of any two opposite faces besides the ones present at its corner. കോർണറിന് കൂടാതെ ഏതെങ്കിലും രണ്ട് ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ് ഫേസ് സെൻറ്ററിലും ഉണ്ടാവും. അതിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ എൻ സെൻറ്റേഡ് എന്താ പറയുക യൂണിറ്റ് സെൽ എന്ന് പറയുക. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ച പ്രിമിറ്റീവ്, ബോഡി സെൻറ്റേഡ്, ഫേസ് സെൻറ്റേഡ്, എൻ സെൻറ്റേഡ്, 4 categories are there. So we can see the diagrams of that. Now we can see the diagrams of different types of unit cell. First of all, primitive type or simple unit cell. It is known as simple or primitive unit cell. So from the figure you can see that the particles are present at all the corners. So the 8 corners, all the 8 corners have a point or a constant particle. Second one is body centered unit cell. So in body centered unit cell, along with all corners, you have a particle at the center. So red corners and one yellow. Okay, now the third one is face centered unit cell. It is known as FCC, face centered cell, FCC. So in FCC, along with all corners, all the face center has a constant particle. All face centerlum constant particles are there. Then the last one is N centered unit cell or N face centered cell. So along with all corners, any two opposite faces, opposite sides at the center of the face. Okay, മുകളിലും താഴെയും, മുകളിലുള്ള ഫേസിന് നേരെ ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ് ഫേസാണ് താഴെയുള്ള, അതിൻ്റെ രണ്ട് സെൻറ്ററിലും. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഓൾ അബൌട്ട് എൻ സെൻറ്റേഡ് യൂണിറ്റ് സെൽ. സോ വി ഹാവ് ഡിസ്കസ്ഡ് simple or primitive unit cell, face centered, n centered and body centered unit cell. That is all about today's topic. Thank you.